welcome to another Thursday Q&A with me, Pam Duthie, and thankfully Starla is back.
I'm
Yay!
back. I'm blurry though, so I'm only kind of back. I'm like struggling to get this camera to focus today. I'll keep
Nope, still blurry.
I'll keep working on it. If you guys see me holding my hand up, I'm trying to get
She's
my
just
camera
wait
to
out. High
focus.
five, everybody.
High five, everybody! It's a game. Woo!
Yeah.
It'll catch up in a minute. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. I see that Anna said I used to go out on Thursday and Friday evenings, and now I watch eRank in the Friday bean with a cup of decaf tea. Party hard.
Yeah,
Party hard, girl.
we're all rock and roll now. I used to go
Absolutely.
out. Now about the only time I put makeup on is for sitting in front of this camera.
Same, same. I talk about that all the time. And I even asked my accountant, I'm like, can I write off my makeup if I only wear it for camera? And she's like, yeah, you actually can. That's
Oh,
awesome.
cool. I can go shopping again. Yay.
Yay! Shopping spree. There we go. Now I'm in focus. All
Yay.
right. So, guys, thanks for hanging out. Um, we got one question in our early questions, but that one.
Oh, we've lost a Starla. Hopefully she'll be back in a second. Technology is wonderful. Um,
The one question that we received has three questions, so it should keep us busy for a few minutes while you guys get some questions into the chat. All 42 of you that are here, you've got to spice this chat up. We need lots of questions today.
yeah, we lost you for a minute, but I think everyone gets
Oh,
the gist of it.
I lost you.
Oh, okay. um,
Oh,
well, we're
now I'm
both we're both on the YouTubes at the minute in time, so that's good.
okay. Anyway, okay. So first question, um, and this is one that made me giggle. I might need to make a video about this one because I love doing the Etsy SEO myths. Those are my favorite. I was just informed that tags we use should be in lowercase or letters. I have never heard that before. Can you advise on that? You've never heard it before because it's not true.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that is some absolutely bungo advice. Your tags are not case sensitive. Your titles aren't case sensitive. I don't think anything on Etsy is case sensitive.
not as far as I know. The algorithm doesn't care if it looks a
No.
bit better for your buyers. I mean, obviously, like if your title looks capitalized well. The only thing I think I've ever heard for capitals is if you're wanting your listings to be shown in Google Ads. I think they don't want spammy
No
capital.
more than three words in your title. I think you can have
That's,
in all
yeah,
caps.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yep. But that's the only place. I don't think even Google proper cares. It's just for advertising because people did spammy things. I am not aware that Etsy at all looks at capitals.
No, no, not at all. And the only area in Etsy that's case sensitive is your password when you're typing it in. That's about the only thing. But yeah, use good punctuation for areas that your shoppers are reading. They're not reading your tags. They're not looking at your tags. Don't even worry about that. Your title, yeah, make sure that your title looks nice. Your descriptions should probably use some decent punctuation in there, but tags, no, you're fine. And also that tags may be too common. Etsy limits the number of times that a single tag can be used in a listing. If a tag is used more than the limit, eRank will only show it once in the listing on it.
Yeah, both again not correct. I've done tests. Etsy doesn't care. It doesn't care if you repeat the same word again and again and again. The problem is if you keep saying the same thing, you've wasted space. You've just duplicated it. The algorithm doesn't look and go, oh, she said ring 6 times, therefore that must really be a ring. It only needs it once. But also, even in the Etsy handbook, it does tell us when they gave an example of how to split up some tags if they're too long. I can't remember exactly what it was, but say it was gold ring and engagement ring. They did say if those are your two superstar keywords, have gold ring and have engagement ring. It's all right to say it more than once if those are your superstar keywords. It's not counting. It's just if every single keyword, if every single tag was a duplicate of the last one, it's an absolute waste of space. And eRank equally doesn't care. We will just, in the listing audit, we'll show you whatever you've written there. We will put up that, yeah, we do say when something's a duplicate. Yeah, we will flag it up and say that's a duplicate. But that's just our system. That's just like a little computer program saying that word's shown a couple of times. It's not saying this is bad or this is good. That's just saying, hey, did you notice you're saying the same thing again?
Yeah.
Basically.
Jessica made a good point. She said that it matters to capitalize if you use eRank and what to not have spelling errors pop up for holidays like Christmas. But yeah.
Yeah, true, true enough. If you do have any, that's another thing is spelling errors and things when they pop up. You just look at them and go, yeah, not a spelling error. It's just there to help you have a look at things. So there's kind of like acronyms or trade names or stuff that our system hasn't necessarily heard about yet. So if you see a spelling error, you can just look at it and go, that's not a spelling error. You can put it to your safe list or you can just ignore it. But all of these kind of alerts are just for you to look at and go, hey, is this important to me? Because we can't know everything. We're just there to say, here's something that requires your attention, and your attention might be, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, this is the whole post is very interesting because everything is like in quotes as if it was like maybe copied and pasted directly from somewhere. So wherever you got this information, I would be very wary, um, just because nothing here that you've stated is correct. I've never heard this before either. I know you shouldn't use repetitive words and tags, but how many does Etsy allow you to have? You can have infinite.
Well,
You can have
13 in tags, yeah.
well, yeah, 13 in tags, but you can repeat them. If you made all of your tags say bag, 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 you
Yeah.
could technically do that. Um, you're not going to get penalized for it. You're just not hitting very many ranking opportunities.
Yeah.
Um,
I have actually tested this in my shop. For those who don't know, I test random things in my shop just because of this. And there was no difference in the ranking place for the one term, for having that one term 13 times in my tags compared to the one term once in my tags and 12 different tags. You're not penalized, you're not helped. It was just exactly the same thing. So yeah, I think exactly what Starla's saying is whoever's given you this advice, be wary. And whenever you're not sure, the Etsy Seller's Handbook would tell us if this was a thing. Because Etsy 100% don't want us to be doing things to try and game the system, but they especially don't want us to be doing things to game the system that doesn't game the system, that doesn't work. So, yeah.
and we're moving on to the YouTube comments. So thank you guys for being so patient. But I am going to skip ahead to one question just because it's relevant for the topic that we're currently talking about, and then I'll go back up. But Kat had said, with the ever-growing number of Etsy experts, I'm unsure of who else to trust. Would it be rude to ask these people to state the sources of their info to see if they're trustworthy? Do that. Absolutely do that. If something sounds sketchy, always say, please cite your sources. That is something that we have encouraged from the beginning. The great thing about both Pam and I is that if we speculate something, we say we're speculating. If we're teaching something as fact, it's because we can source it. If it's something that sounds incorrect, we'll tell you, well, that sounds incorrect, but we're not sure. You need to message Etsy to see. So yeah, not rude at all.
Yeah, it's especially if you're going to be paying these people. But if you're
For sure.
spending your time with these people, it's absolutely a good idea to ask them. You don't have to be rude about it. I wouldn't go to them calling them experts and things like that, which I'm sure you're not. You don't have to be rude about them, but just ask, where does this come from? can you give me more information on this? It's a daft thing, but way back when I used to be a driving instructor, and one of the first things that I learnt was whatever you tell people, people are going to ask you why, what are we doing this for? And the thing is, if there were some driving instructors that would get mad and just be because I told you so. But if you actually took the time to sit back and go, right, why is it we're doing this? Let's really think about this. You, as the person teaching them, learnt a whole lot better as well. And you're like, okay, I really understand why we're doing this thing. So it's really important. And if the people can say, this is why, and here is where Etsy says it, or whatever else. But in reality, most of the stuff Etsy tells us, there's this is the problem, right? There's hundreds of gurus, and they're all wanting. Well, a lot of them are wanting you to spend a lot of money with them, so
Or
they want to
time
have,
because they get
yeah,
paid. They
they
get
want to
rep.
have a kind of unique selling point. We've got people like Starla who does have a unique selling point because she understands. She's dug into like different things, psychology and selling, and whole lots of things like that. But she's not trying to sell some kind of snake oil to say here's the secret. If you wear your underpants on your head and post every listing on the fourth Tuesday of the new moon, those are those things don't necessarily work. So that's the problem. Is there's no real major secrets to Etsy. There's understanding how people work, and there's understanding the algorithm is basically make good listings, find keywords, put them in your title and tags. There's Etsy in 2 lines basically. It's a little more than that, but not much.
Absolutely. Yeah. And be careful because, like Pam said, a lot of the times the gurus exist either because they're selling something, which I sell something. I do have a course. It's not open right now, but I do have one. But I try not to put it in everybody's face very much. I get really nervous about the people who say, I have all these secrets. I've got these secrets and you can learn all my secrets. Because there are no secrets. There's just good strategy. And good strategy is something that, that should be really really sought after. Don't look for a magic success button. Just be very cautious because there's usually an ulterior motive, especially if somebody is saying something that's absolutely not true. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask to
Yeah.
you know know
And
where they got the
guarantees,
info.
other than the guarantee that if this doesn't work for you, here's what we're going to do. But guarantees like, I guarantee I'm going to get you on the first page of search. I
Oh yeah.
guarantee I'm going to get you a load of sales. Well, I'm sure I spoke about this before, but in the dim distant past, there used to be a website called Regretsy, which was the worst items on Etsy. I missed that page. But I remember someone had made and was trying to sell a cat toy, and it was basically a bit of string that looked like they'd found it in their garden, and it was tied to a feather that they had found in their garden. I am not going to make any guarantees to that person that I can SEO a bit of string and a feather to do really well on Etsy. It's um yeah, there's more to it than that, in that you have to have good items. So yeah, no guarantees, no matter how much you pay me, unless you're some kind of marketing expert that, and then people buy that ironically, I suppose. I suppose that might work, but in general, nobody's going to guarantee you're going to get results, because if what you're selling people don't want to buy, which is not most of the people here, right? It's actually an interesting thing that when I do look at people's shops and when I do see what people are selling, lots of people are selling really cool things.
Absolutely. All right. Akira over on YouTube. I heard on YouTube from someone that putting Etsy title in a certain order matters. They said to type the least search keywords in the title first, and most and most search keywords last in the title. Pam is over there having an aneurysm.
I haven't heard that one before, so that's
I
good.
haven't either. I saved it just now for another Etsy Myths video. Wow. I
Yeah.
want who's teaching all this? Don't put their names in the chat, please.
Oh, yeah.
But really, this is no. Etsy tells us that we should lead with the keywords that describe our items the best, because there's only a teeny tiny little snippet that your shoppers are going to see on a search page. And if I'm selling, this officially licensed Court of Thorns and Roses cup, thank you for your video last week, Pam, or this week, I'm sorry. If I'm selling this cup, I would put, the acronym for Court of Thorns and Roses, ACOTAR Tumblr, right? Because that's what this is. And, readers of this book series will know that it's a Tumblr. You need to lead with what it is that your product is, because they're only going to see that tiny snippet. There is no logic behind putting your least search keywords first and most search keywords last. That sounds like that individual found, like, they had a listing that got a bunch of sales on a fluke, and they just decided that, oh, because I did the title of that listing this way, this has to be what it, attributed to my success. Keywords are just one factor that can lead your listing to success, and you can have a successful listing with bad SEO if you've got like a good audience on social media, or like a, maybe one of your TikToks blows up. That
Yeah.
is not good advice.
Yeah, I like I say, I've not even heard that on any platform ever.
No,
I, the only
it's
Etsy have
dyslexic.
said the order doesn't matter, but to lead with your most descriptive ones because that's what people are going to see. I can see no benefit. Um, your least searched for keywords are the ones that you don't care about. If they're that least searched for, they probably shouldn't even be in the title, let alone focusing them right at the front. But they're the things I tag on at the end that, yeah, you really don't care about. Wow, guys, I'm loving it. Starla's going to get some gold videos out of this, if nothing else.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting to do a new Etsy SEO myths video. If you guys have any more, like, keep them coming, because this is content. You can sustain Pam and I for months to come with all of this craziness. Yeah. Anyway, um, do you think that the make an offer option would work for one section of our Etsy shop to help get rid of products we no longer want to sell? Sure, if you've got some stuff that you don't want anymore and you just want to clear it out. I'm not a fan of the whole make an offer option, except it's okay for like vintage, I think. But in your circumstance, yeah, that might be a great idea to get rid of some old stuff you don't want.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool idea, especially if you have a following or something. You could kind of mark it and say, here's this section. You want to go here. I suppose there's nothing to even stop you calling that section your make me an offer section kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a kind of cool idea that I've never heard anyone talk about before. So good job. Yeah.
could be your little haggle with me
Yeah.
section. You could have some fun. All right. Christine, I have like 7 items in my Etsy shop. I'm going back and doing an audit on them. Should I work on my Halloween and fall items, or is it too close to the time to sell it to change it? I guess it just depends on how bad they're doing. If they're not getting any traffic or love or traction, um, or if they're, just sitting, I dare say that you should definitely change them, because I mean, there's absolutely people are searching for Halloween right now. You can go into eRank and see. It's like, if you go into our trending keywords, like, Halloween stuff is popping right now. But if they're not getting any searches, then that's probably a good indication that you might want to go ahead and do a little bit of tweaking. Because yeah, you can't break what's broken already.
Well, that's it. If it's not working at all, I would have a look. If you went in with keywords that you had in mind that looked like they could be potentially good keywords, check and see, am I ranking for those keywords? Are people searching for them? There are some that don't start ranking till a little bit later, so that don't start picking up searches. So if you're looking and those keywords that you'd aimed for you are ranking for, but no one's searching just now, I'd maybe hold fire in that case, because sometimes there are some keywords that just blow up for like a couple of months of the year, and if you were aiming for them, maybe you don't want to fidget about and lose that. Depends what you make. You're saying you have 7 items in your shop. If you have more that you could make, honestly, at this time of year, I would probably be working on trying some new ones, trying the, adding things rather than it can be easy to fiddle about. Like if it's absolutely not working, you're not ranking, then change them. But if stuff's ranking and things, then maybe it's an idea not to fiddle, but to make more if you can. Even duplicate these listings and play around with them as well, because um, this is still the kind of calm before the storm. Oh, I think Christine's saying you make wreaths. Yeah, if you can do more, but that it is a little tricky. You don't necessarily want hundreds of wreaths lying about your house, but I would definitely, see if you can make a couple more at least to practice, like aiming for some different keywords. But most importantly, see if you're ranking for the terms, see if anyone's searching for them, and perhaps give them a tweak. If you're not ranking and nobody's finding you, you're not going to break anything.
Yeah, and if you don't have Google Analytics set up already, go into your Etsy search analytics beta. Um, in your, I believe it's in the marketing tab in your dashboard, and see what keywords that Etsy says you're being found for, and maybe start kind of diving down a couple rabbit holes. Or if you do have Google Analytics set up, obviously you can get some even more in-depth keywords, because people are searching for those keywords and they're just not, you know, looking at your listings. Well, maybe it's your photos, maybe it's something else. You never know.
Yeah, and that's a good point for anyone who doesn't have Google Analytics set up yet. Set it up just now. You can't go back and get historic data with it, but if you set it up just now, then come January you can go back and look at what happened over the Christmas period. It's too late to set it. Well, it's not too late, but you won't get any data if you set it up in January. We're just, for the majority of shops, we're just about to hit the busiest time of the year. So Anthony did a live stream and has made a couple of articles on how to set up the GA4. It's a really good time to do it just now.
Put it in the chat for you guys now that I
Yay.
can post links. Yay.
There's no stopping her now, guys.
I know you're gonna get flooded with resources. All right. Let's see. What do you think of the new collections feature now that's giving notifications? Do you think it can help find keywords you might use to fit your listings into a specific niche? That's how I would use it. I think it's really, really neat. I think it also gives you an idea of, what are people interested in? Like what's trendy? What's cool?
Ah, that must be. Uh, I was an idiot. I was thinking of the new registries that Etsy's just started. Yeah,
Oh,
my head's just going somewhere else. So, but yeah, if there's any kind of thing that I don't know what that is, but if there's anything Etsy's showing keywords, it can be a place to look for keywords. Absolutely.
I'm assuming you mean like when you first log into your Etsy account and they've got those new little collection thingies in the front. Is that what you're talking about? Feel free to let me know if that's not what you're talking about. But I noticed that like 2 weeks ago, those big collections that were featured on the homepage. So,
Ah,
all right,
cool.
Stan. Let's see. Is there a limit to the number of words in a title before you end with a comma, then going another keyword in the title? No.
So long as it fits in the title. But yeah, some people have no commas at all in their title.
Yeah, I mean, break it up in a way that makes the most sense, and is the most reader friendly. Etsy doesn't care; they don't care either way. So
Yeah, it that that's it. How your title's written in general, it's for the eyeballs of your reader. Just as long as the words that you expect, the keywords that you think people are searching for, are in the title, doesn't really matter how you make the title. You can capitalize it like a title. You can put capitals every third word. You can put commas. You can put pipes. You can put dashes. Anything, not quite anything goes. Anything that Etsy physically allows you to put in a title, you can put in a title.
All right. For some reason, it said that my chat was offline, so I'm just moving some things around and
Oh,
getting myself getting myself a backup chat just in case. Okay.
I can
Um.
actually see chat now on, what are we on OBS? That started popping up a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of handy.
Cool.
I don't seem
Then
to be able to pop it into like we used to be able to do with BeLive.
show the
But
comments.
yeah,
Yeah.
there must be a way to do that. I'll figure it out.
All right. The source matters. Yes, it does. Is high competition on your tags in Etsy good or bad? New eRank Pro user. It's not really either of those things. If you're a new shop and you don't have many sales, if you don't have many good reviews, these are all things that help to build up your listing quality scores and your customer and marketplace experience score. Basically, it's Etsy's way of knowing that you're trustworthy. If you're brand new, then trying to only rank for highly competitive keywords is going to be kind of hard, because you're not trustworthy yet. And the people that are on the top of those highly competitive keywords, Etsy is likely deemed them trustworthy because they've probably been around longer than you. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't use them at all? No, not at all. You can totally use those terms because you can tell Etsy someday I would love to be known for women's shirt, for example. Like that's a really broad term. So you could be exact matching for women's shirt, and maybe you're not ranking very well, but it tells Etsy that yes, this is a women's shirt. I would like to be shown for women's shirt. I like to think of these terms almost as, like your gold jeans that you keep in the closet and they don't fit right now, but someday maybe they'll fit and, you'll be able to wear them again. These keywords are really, really cool because not only can you work towards ranking for them and you can kind of watch your progress, and your rank by checking your rank in the rank checker, it's also really cool because those words can be compounded into other words to make long tail keywords that you can rank for. So maybe you can't rank for women's shirt right away, but maybe it is a pink elephant women's shirt. And maybe you rank for elephant women's shirt, pink women's shirt through both exact matching and broad matching. Etsy's going to read the words in your titles and tags in every possible combination and rank you for those terms as well. So competition is, I would make sure that not every single term that you're using has like a million, competitors, but competition isn't a bad thing.
Yeah. And another thing, even if something has a massive amount of competition, not every single listing in that competition is good. Firstly, not every single one is necessarily completely relevant for that thing. They just have the words somewhere that might not be what they were aiming for. Um, but yeah, lots of listings might not be good, or they might be from shops that aren't filled in properly, or have open cases against them or things. So competition isn't always a bad thing. And with any of the metrics, you want to be not just focusing on one, you want to look at everything. Like, if you find a keyword that has super high competition and absolutely nobody is searching for it, that's like absolutely pointless because you're not going to rank for it. And even if you did, there's nobody searching for it. Whereas sometimes if you find a keyword that is super, super relevant to what you make and it's got high competition, but there's a load of people searching for it, like Starla says, you might be able to say, okay, that's a good one to have a go at. Because at the end of the day, the point of the algorithm isn't to find the items that are most optimized, they're to find the items that the people most likely to buy. So if you sell for the pink elephant shirt or something, you start selling really well, Etsy might start going, hang on, this guy's really good. Let's show them to more and more people. So you could really do. It's always have a mix, and if you're not getting seen for anything, maybe find less competitive things to get your foot in the door.
Absolutely. All right. Ellie, I just signed up for eRank. What can I do with the free program as a newbie? Um, Check out the keyword tool. It's pretty fun to play with. You get a lot of really good data for free. You do have a quota on it. I can't remember how many searches do they get with the free plan.
Uh, One of them's 5, one of them's 20, maybe? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I was gonna say, I think it's more than 5. So with the keyword tool, the best way to get the most out of the keyword tool when you have a free plan is to, rather than typing in super duper specific words, type in something really broad. So for example, if you sell a tote bag with a cute little, you know, frog on it, for example, rather than searching cute frog tote bag, just search tote bag or frog or even frog bag. Because what we're going to do is recommend some terms to you, and we're going to show you some related terms, and you can get a lot more ideas in that one search. So I would recommend playing with the keyword tool. And I believe that our listing helper is for all users as well, isn't it?
I can't remember. I was racking my brain. I can maybe find out. Keep talking. Oh no, so it's going to take forever to find out. Not sure, but it's definitely worth checking if it is, for sure. The listing helper is a great tool. Other one to do the Spotted on Etsy monitor tool. You can add one keyword to it, but the really cool thing, don't tell Anthony, but we give a whole load of free away with that because the Spotted on Etsy once a day goes to search Etsy to see where your listings are ranking for the keyword that you've put in. It's only one keyword, doesn't sound like a lot, but it also searches for all the other things in our database. So you might find loads of other things. So that's a cool one to link up for. So just go, what is it? Shop, monitor, edit keywords, put in a keyword. Doesn't matter what it is. Just put it in, go away, come back in a couple of days, and we might be finding some keywords you hadn't thought of.
Yeah. And we really need to get a link for this because my toolbox is the only way that we have it. But I have a free Etsy SEO toolbox. It's got tutorials and a free mini course and some PDFs. But anyway, within this toolbox, there is a link to get a free trial of any of eRank's paid plans. If you've already had a paid plan in the past, it won't work. So this is for, newbies who just want to take it on a spin. You can get a lot done in 30 days. Now, this is one of those dealios where you have to put in your credit card, and if you don't cancel it before the 30 days, you'll get billed. So you might want to mark it on your calendar just so it doesn't, take out of your account and surprise you. But I would just sign up for the basic account. It's normally $5.99 a month. If you want to test it out free, the link is in the chat. And that gives you a pretty good taste of all of our tools. I really think that for the average seller, the basic plan is really the sweet spot. And then once you start, getting a little bit more advanced and you've got a lot more listings, pro account might be for you. And if you've got like tons of shops, then the expert plan would be for you. That's more of our like enterprise, the enterprise level. But for most Etsy sellers, the basic plan is good enough. And $6 a month. I mean, God, I pay more than that for my Starbucks. But
But yeah, dig into the free account. Well, you get the trial, but dig into the free
yes,
account and get an idea of what's going on. Then take the free trial so you can really get be at a time when you're like, right, I've got time. I'm going to dig into this fully. And also, if you haven't, there should be a link in the comments of this video description, that's the word. There should be a link in the description of this video for the Facebook group. Sign up for the Facebook group, and then anything you get stuck on about the tools, you can ask us in there, or you can come back here every Thursday and we can hopefully help you as well.
absolutely. Okay, above us only sky. A guru suggested that's going to be the name of my new series. A guru suggested.
Yep, I was just
A,
thinking
gu-
the same thing. Or in
a
fact, I was
guru
just
once
thinking a
said.
guru suggested is just like it's gonna be.
This is another one. Are you ready? A guru suggested creating a listing image in Canva displaying a fake review text with 5 gold stars under it for social proof. Would this not be against Etsy's policy as well as unethical? I don't know if it's against Etsy's policy, but it's lying and it's definitely unethical. That's awful. If you don't, why not just use a real review? If you've got good reviews and you want to put, one of your Canva has great templates for reviews. Go through your reviews and find a real good review and put it in there. You don't even have to put the buyer's name, but you can put what they, that they purchased that item. And I just don't understand.
Yeah. People,
Why?
you don't need to, because in your Etsy listing, underneath the photographs at the minute in time are your reviews. So, and if you don't have reviews, putting a fake social proof type review, people are just going to look at that and know it's fake.
Yeah, that's craziness.
If
All these,
anything feels a bit dodgy, a bit unethical, makes you feel like you need a shower, don't do it.
yeah. If it feels gross, it probably is. That's what I always say. Um, let's see. Max G's Racing. Ooh, you sound cool. Um, I see that Leather Wallet and Wallet Leather return different numbers of listings. As such, does listing them both help? Probably not. Because you're using the exact same words.
The only way it would, it depends how people are searching for them. So if this was your superstar keyword and you found that huge number of people were searching for wallet leather and a similarly huge number of people were searching for leather wallet, so they were both your superstar keywords, then yes, you could use both of them. I would probably, because if you're making leather wallets, you've probably got more than one. I would probably have one listing that I focused on leather wallet and another one that I focused on wallet leather. Um, Although, yeah, just even saying it out loud, you're making a leather wallet. I would say in my title, leather wallet, to be perfectly honest. But Etsy does say there is a slight boost in search for exact match to what the buyers are typing in.
I'm gonna
But that
guess
slight
that there's
boost,
more for leather wallet than wallet leather. I would go with whichever one has more searches.
yeah, I'd pick the most important one. Um, the only reason I can see people are searching for wallet leather is this is people who are not very good at searching. So they type into the search bar wallet and go, that's not what I wanted. And just rather than search again, they add the word leather. So you might, this is why sometimes in the search results, you can see crazy things. It could be like wallet, leather, red, small or something, because that's just people going, that wasn't what I wanted, and add extra letters in, extra words in. So my gut feeling is I would go for the one that looks like it's written by someone who understands English, basically. um,
Yeah. All right. Mabel the Woodle, our favorite Woodle. Let's see. Question about plurals. eRank has plurals of some things having more or less search results in competition. I heard Etsy doesn't worry about plurals. Is it beneficial to use plural if there's less competition? We're showing you what buyers are searching for, what they're typing in. Etsy tells us that plurals don't matter. So again, kind of the same answer as the last one. I would use whichever term has the most searches.
yeah, that exactly. Etsy does tell us that although how we're showing you in eRank might be slightly different due to algorithms and things, but Etsy does understand if you type in the singular, it does understand the plural's the same thing. Although, if the customer has searched for the plural, it would think of it as slightly more relevant, but it would still show you both. So go for the one that either the customer's looking for or that makes the most sense. If you sell a single earring, it wouldn't make sense to call it earrings because it's only one, regardless of what the customer's searching for. That might just tell you to make another listing where you sell two of them because people want earrings.
7 o'clock miracles. I'm considering selling ephemera, sorry for my ignorance, vintage paper on Etsy. How do I find out if there's a market for this? eRank.
Yay!
Yeah, hop into erank.com and go to our keyword tool. Um, I couldn't pronounce the name of the paper. I would start.
Oh, I can hear it in my head. I said it in my head and then I couldn't say it out loud. You know when you try and say Pacific or something like that and you can't. Epherum. Ah, I can hear it in my head. I know. I know the word. I can't say it. I'm glad Styler was reading that one.
Sorry, I'm very millennial. Check it in eRank, and if you don't find any searches, try to get down to the root. Switch it and take the words, and dumb them down more. Then maybe just search vintage paper and see if you get anything for that. You can narrow it down, or you can widen the search by getting less specific. And we'll tell you about how many people are searching. If it pops up with no data, that doesn't necessarily mean that no one's searching. It just means that we don't have data for that term, because this sounds like a very specific type of paper. But I do believe that there is a market for vintage paper on Etsy because of junk journaling.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I've got two ways of doing keyword research now because of things that eRank have done. So generally using the keyword tool, you'd want to go with the more broad term and then look down at the related searches. So I would go with the vintage paper, search for vintage paper and see what related searches there are. Because very much I can see people are searching for this, but they might not be using those terms. But the other cool one is using the AI help, the listing helper. If you type in that full term, type in as much details as possible, it's going to spit out random keywords that it thinks are relevant. And then eRank's going to take them through our tools and show you the competition and search volume and everything. So the words the AI is giving you are just based on what it understands. Work with it, but it might come out with some gold. It's good at explaining what things are, kind of thing. So I use that when you use the keyword tools. Use the broad term. When you use the listing helper, be as descriptive as possible, and it'll spit out the keywords. Hopefully, you might have to search a couple of times. It's a robot. It can be an idiot sometimes, but it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
pretty cool.
All right. We are down to 15 minutes and we probably have 50 questions. We are probably not going to be able to get to everybody. So we'll try to speed round these and get as many done in these last 15 minutes as we can. This is great, though. It's great that we've got so many. We appreciate you. Make sure that if you don't get it answered, come back next week. We do this every week. I just haven't been here the last few weeks. All right. Is it Anush? Could you please elaborate on how to research trends and products? Keyword tool. Keyword tool. I think that, we kind of answered that in our last question, or our last answer. Keyword tool. Type in a couple keywords, words related to what it is that you want to sell. If you've got an idea of what you want to sell, if you're trying to decide what to sell, go to our trend report. There's a little trends tab in our top navigation, and you can check out our monthly trends report where you can explore different categories. If you're interested in selling paper and party supplies, you can look at the top 100 most searched items for that category. You can look around what time of year those particular words are most searched for. But that's essentially what eRank is. It's helping you find trends and products to sell.
Absolutely. And just quickly, a couple of others is every month our Jan puts out a report.
Yes.
She's checking our keywords for rude words every day. So she has her finger on the pulse and she puts out a blog article once a month, or when I get time I make the video based on her words in this YouTube channel. So check those out. And also right on your dashboard of eRank we do have the stuff that's been searched for the past 7 days. So it's even just when you log on every morning, go, oh, keywords, and just get on with your day. And then over time, you sort of start to see trends. Don't don't spend hours researching keywords. This is just a thing you just kind of glance at and go, oh, Barbie's trending. Who'd have thought that? Don't use Barbie.
Absolutely not. But yeah, click that little flame icon at the top of the screen. It's in like a little button. All right. Michelle, is there something I'm missing? I'm missing a lot. When you check out on the Etsy app, I don't see an option to click this order is a gift while this option is available on desktop. Can't tell you, unfortunately.
There's loads of stuff missing on the app. Says, but drop Etsy a message. But this order is a gift. I'd be more than happy if that box went away. It's
As a seller, yeah.
yeah. It doesn't mean what the customer thinks it means,
Yeah.
which seems to be that we're going to avoid customs fees if you click it. That's not what it's there for.
Janice, if we change the pictures in a listing, will this cause the listing to change its rank? Nope, no impact at all. Other
Yeah,
than if you put in an ugly picture that your potential customers don't like as much, and then they don't want to click on it anymore.
yeah, that's it. Not directly. It might change over time if it's a great or awful one.
Oh, this one's kind of vague. How do I increase the visibility of my Etsy products using eRank tools?
Uh, research for good keywords that people are searching for that's relevant for your listings. Experiment with them in your listings. So you use the keyword tool to find good keywords, pop them in your listings. After a couple of days, use the rank checker or spotted on Etsy, see if you're ranking. Let it run for a few months, work on your next listing, and then come back and see if you've been getting any views and sales. If you haven't, rinse and repeat. Find some more keywords, put them in your title and tags, check and see if you're ranking. And if you keep thinking you're finding great keywords and you're not getting anything, sort out your pictures. That's probably the biggest problem. Most people drive down their prices or have sales or something, but sort out your pictures. I
Yeah.
haven't seen your shop, by the way. That's just a vague, random one.
Oh yeah, and sometimes a picture that looks good, it looks great, but next to everybody else, it's just not what customers want to click on. So even taking a good picture and changing it can sometimes help.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Some of my top sellers, the photograph is from 2010. It's awful. The highlights are all blown out. I hate it, but customers like it. What can I say?
All right. Have people seen any difference in their listings ranking when using the eRank listing helper help feature? Um, there's no real way for us to answer that because we don't know. But that's not really what the listing helper is for. It's not a tool to help you rank and search. That's that you need to do keyword research for that in the keyword tool. What the listing helper is going to do, as we talked about a few minutes ago, is it's going to give you ideas that you can kind of springboard off of. We don't recommend taking all those keywords and just shoving them straight into your listing. There's no keyword research behind anything that the listing helper is generating. In fact, we say that right on the tool. You need to take those terms, pop them into our keyword tool, and get an idea of how many people are actually searching that, because really it's an AI tool. That's all it is. It's a robot. It's giving you some ideas based on what it knows about whatever query that you've typed in, and it can be very helpful, especially for descriptions, which God, who's great at writing descriptions, right? It can be a pain in the butt. But you need to research those terms that it generates, because it is an AI tool.
Yeah, I think I understand why people make that mistake. Firstly, AI is not intelligent. Wherever anybody's using it, it's the thing. We all had to jump on it. It's cool. It's very helpful. It gets over that writer's block to get things started, but it's not very smart. It's a thing to help us. We still have to build our listings, so don't just take what it tells you blindly. Yeah, it's not clever, but it's smart and it knows how people write, kind of. So yeah, just take that, and then that's your starting place.
Absolutely. All right, we got 10 minutes. We can do it, Pam. Do you know anyone who could do not a shop audit, but a product design audit? Not really. Nobody can tell you if your product is going to do well. You've got to test that theory in the market. There are big, giant businesses who spend millions of dollars developing a product, but ultimately, when you launch it, it's chance. It's always chance.
Yeah, and that's the reason that people see why there's this myth that you need 100 listings or whatever else. You don't need anything, but the more you have, the more chance you've got to find the right combination of things and be seen at the right time. You can make three almost identical listings, and out of nowhere, one of them does really well because it's the right place at the right time and it had a bit of luck. It's I hate saying that. It's not all luck. It takes a bit of having a good listing and everything, but and I don't think anyone could tell you the exact keywords and everything to use that will work every time. We can tell you, or you can use eRank to find out yourself. We can tell you the keywords to experiment with, but you put them in. Oh, thank you, Linda, for subscribing. You can you can experiment with these keywords, like we said. Find keywords, experiment with them, then try check your stats, see how it's done, and then cycle back. I suppose this is kind of like the give a man a fish or give him a fishing rod. It's better for you to learn how to do the science, because if you pay one person to do it and they did all that science for you, you would need to pay them to do every single listing. It's better. It's trial and error, and anyone who says otherwise has just had a bit of luck, and they're going to learn it's trial and error eventually.
All right, Belinda, I make sculptures using ceramic clay and I'm having a lot of trouble finding long tail keywords. I keep getting unknown in data for what I thought were pretty basic keywords. Suggestions? I wouldn't be looking for ceramic clay sculpture related terms. If I am a shopper, I'm searching for vase or, sculpture or statue. I don't care what it's made out of. I don't know. I don't have any preference for what it's made out of. And unknown doesn't mean that no one's searching for it. It just means that we don't have data for that word out of the millions and millions of, panelists that we have in our data set. We're really proud of the fact that we have massive sets of data, but every once in a while, a term just isn't in that data set because nobody in that group of panelists was searching for those things. And usually, that can sometimes indicate that it's not, highly searched for, but doesn't mean no one's searching for it. However, the way that you phrased your question leads me to believe that maybe you're focusing too much on your materials, which is kind of the artist mindset. It's not a buyer mindset, though.
Yeah. And like we said in the past one, when you're using something like the keyword tool, don't type in your long tail keyword. Um, yeah, ceramic clay sculpture of a whatever. Don't type in that. Type in the basic thing. This is like I make sculptures of needle felted things. I have to not type in needle felted border collie dog in a whatever pose or whatever else. I have to type in border collie and then have a look at what people who are looking for border collies look for. You have to go that narrow and then scroll down to the related keywords. You have to keep an eye on the trends and see, like we said, it's a stupid one, but we know Barbie's trending. So perhaps your ceramic clay, you could be thinking, hey, is there some kind of bright pink home decor things I can make? What decor's trending? What look bigger, basically.
Yeah. Max G's Racing. With Etsy advertising, I see the search terms that show my listings. Recently, the advertising engine went crazy showing my listing for the University of Miami. Nothing related to this is in my title tags or description. Do I need to delete that listing and start over? You don't need to delete the listing. Definitely not. At sometimes weird things pop up.
Yeah, Etsy has a thing at the as a banner on my ad saying they're testing finding new tags. They're doing a test. You can go into the ads for that listing and look at their search terms and switch off the unrelated ones. And if it's really unrelated and it's costing you money, message Etsy and say, "Give me my money back. You messed up." I have heard of them politer than that, but I have heard of them paying people back for it was when they were doing like Gucci handbags, and the people are like, "This has nothing to do with Gucci. Can you stop showing me in searches for Gucci?"
Yeah. Anna, this may, or I think this is a myth, but I'm not sure, that tags should be entered in the same order as they appear in your title. Also a myth. There's no magical order for your tags to be put in. Tag order does not matter. Matter order does not tag.
Yes, that exactly. Well done.
Let's see. Can we request that you ladies do a January live chat analyzing Google Analytics? Walk us through how to analyze our holiday sales. That sounds like an Anthony live stream.
Oh, he would be so good at that. I actually did I do it this year? I do that most years in my on my own YouTube channel. Anyway.
Yeah, that let maybe we'll. Ooh, that would be fun because I'll have my new shop set up. We should
Oh
like
yeah.
have a day where we just explore stats.
Yeah.
That'd be
But
really
that
fun.
it is a great thing, and it's something I do most years on my channel. I do it in my shop anyway, and we should all be doing it. So it is a good idea. The chances of myself or Starla remembering this by January is very small, but yeah, it is a cool idea. And I would absolutely love Anthony to do something like that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, got a couple more minutes. Do you have any recommendations on social media posting and the best way to do it? Like with Pinterest, is it better to create in Pinterest or pin from Etsy? I mean, really, you've got to find people who just specialize in each of the social media platforms. Instagram is the one that I'm good at. I've got a free Instagram challenge kit on my website, handmadealphaacademy.com. For Pinterest, I typically hear that it's better to create a fresh pin rather than clicking the pin it button direct from Etsy because you have a little bit more flexibility in choosing the image that you want for your pin, writing the caption yourself, being able to keyword optimize your pin. Usually pinning directly on Pinterest is better if that's your specific question.
Yeah, that's pretty much my understanding as well. And if you do that, you can make them in the different shapes. You can make several different pins from the one listing and everything. So, yeah, it's generally, not always, but generally, it's going to be best to pin, not just to pin, but to post directly from that social media platform. They're social, they want you to be there, they don't want you to just post and run from somewhere else.
All right, we'll try to blast through. SK Designers. Why would one of my superstar keywords have a graph but say unknown for average searches? It's definitely a significant two-word keyword phrase. Again, we kind of covered this a few minutes ago, but unknown doesn't mean that it's not searched for. It just means that nobody in our, panel of, millions of data, you know, people that we've collected the data from. It just means that nobody in that panel was searching for it. So, I mean, if it's like a really basic phrase, like I think last year we had like a gap in our data where like mermaid sticker, we didn't have data for. Sometimes you can email us and Anthony will look into it. But it really just depends on the keyword.
Yeah. Also, if as we're a little low in time, if you can post a screenshot of what you're seeing into the Facebook group, then we can have a look at it. You might be seeing a graph because someone searched for it. Like the average searches is the average. I think it's 15 months. It's either 12 months or 15 months. Um, so nobody could be searching, but a couple of months, 10 people might have been searching. So that's enough to show in a graph. But it's an average for it's an average, it's an unknown for average searches because when we average it out over 12 months, it's not really showing enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do one more because I have it highlighted and then we'll probably have to stop. I do apologize for those of you who ask questions, but please feel free to bring them next week and we will answer them. Or if they're dire and you need them answered right away, join the eRank group. It's linked down below. But Akira had asked, I finally sold my first item on Etsy, a garden flag with a corgi on it. I have other flags with other dogs on them in my store. I sold another corgi flag from a different buyer. Do you think that the first sale somehow promoted that corgi flag more? That's exactly what happened. Yes. When you
Yeah.
sell a listing, Etsy says, wow, somebody was interested in this. Let's show that thing to more people. That's a good sign. That means that more people who want corgi flags or who are searching for corgi products are going to see that listing. That means that your listing quality score is growing. And that's how bestsellers are created. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your other designs. It just means that you are hitting a quirky audience And people who have corgis, they don't want the other dog breed flags, they just want the corgi flag. So that's a good thing. Don't assume that people don't want your other items. It's just you've got one item that's doing really well for the keywords that Etsy is recognizing you for.
Yeah. Congratulations. And
Yes.
yeah, as Starla says, basically another thing that helps you rank is your listing quality score. Your shop quality score is, everything cool, having good reviews and everything, but that listing quality is also how it's done in search when shown to people. So, how it's done in search when shown was it sold and then it's relisted, which gives it a kind of newness boost from being relisted. So, if it was relisted, if not, then Etsy's still going, hang on, this shop's good for corgi stuff. So, yeah, you definitely get a boost from that one thing, and it can be a corgi boost. I had the corgi boost last year.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. I am asking you all to hit the like button because that's what YouTubers are supposed to do. But it makes us happy. It makes us smile. So, guys, if you end up having any other additional questions that you want to ask that you need answered right away, the eRank group is linked down below. Feel free to post your questions in there. Lots of smart people in the group, including Pam and I. Um, and yeah, join us next Thursday. Same place, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And we're happy to answer even more questions. But guys, have a great week and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Bye.
guys.